Hello everyone, I am Dumbsville. As some of you may know, I am a YouTuber on this platform, and I want to discuss and bring awareness to something recent that happened to me. Something that delayed my recent Metal Gear Solid 2 video by nearly a week, something that's been hurting other content creators, and something that could have been very easily avoidable. This to me is a very clear abuse of YouTube's content ID system, where someone is able to take someone else's audio and just make money off of it, which is very much illegal. Also, this video will have very minimal editing in it. The point of this video is purely to bring awareness to something and not so much to be funny or entertaining. Also, furthermore, do not harass or send death threats to anybody, and if you do so, I do not associate with you. The claims have since now been released, but even if they weren't, I do not encourage that behavior at all. Now, I want to mention a few things. First of all, I am not YouTube, nor am I a lawyer, nor am I associated with anybody. However, if I were Konami, the creators of Metal Gear Solid, I would absolutely consider suing the rappers Zarkon. Why am I saying that? Well, let's start at the beginning. This is the video game Metal Gear Solid 2. This game was published by Konami in 2001 and is widely considered to be one of the most important games ever made, alongside, of course, its predecessor Metal Gear Solid 1. These games alone are evidence that video games are indeed an art form, and as such, I believe it is important to critique and analyze them. As such, I have been doing a series on the Metal Gear Solid video game, and just recently, after working over a month on it, I finished the video on the second game, a video that is nearly 2.5 hours in length, and a video that, due to completely absurd reasons, was delayed by nearly an entire week. So what happened? Well, I uploaded the video to YouTube as a private video. However, the private video was then hit with a copyright claim. Now, to clarify, this is different from a copyright strike. A strike is taking down someone's video for infringement. However, a copyright claim is very different. Your video is not taken down, nor is your channel really affected. What is affected, however, is the ad revenue. Your video is ineligible for ad revenue, and all the money from your video goes to the rights holders. This is annoying, but also very understandable, as it's used to prevent re-uploads from making money off of other people's work, and is mostly used by music labels and music artists, and usually it's out of the artist's control for the most part. For example, I changed my intro song a while back for this very reason. For a while, I was using the song Kamaboko by Oliver Francis. However, due to the content ID system, I had to find a different song, so that way I had the ability to make money off my video. What makes that scenario a bit different, though, is that Oliver Francis actually reached out to me, and long story short, we tried to find a solution, but due to label issues, we really couldn't. However, in that case, Kamaboko is Oliver's song, so content ID in that case, no matter how you feel about it, is relatively justified. And the content ID being out of Oliver's control doesn't really mean much to me, other than he is very, very good at communication, and you should absolutely stream his music. However, going back to the Metal Gear Solid 2 video, I was suddenly hit with a content ID claim. However, the portion that was getting claimed was simply audio from the game. How is this possible? Well, here is the context. So, at the end of MGS2, there is a very long dialogue exchange between the main character Raiden and a secretive AI system. This is the portion that was getting claimed, which of course is absolutely confusing, because when it comes to video game content, this rarely ever actually happens. However, even more shocking, what I was getting claimed for wasn't the AI conversation, or it wasn't even by Konami. What was getting claimed was a song called Polarity / AI Conversation 2020, a song by the rapper known as Zarkon. Now, for obvious reasons, I won't and can't play the song for you, and truth be told, in my honest opinion, you're not missing much. It's not very good. However, I can describe what goes on in the song, which is that in its near 5-minute length, the actual song lasts for only about 40 seconds. For the remainder of the time, as the beat fades out, you get uncut audio of the AI conversation from Metal Gear Solid 2, with rarely any cuts, edits, hell, not even an attempt to integrate it into the beat. Now, just a quick side note, I have no problem with sampling in music. I mean, hell, sampling is kind of what I do here on YouTube, is it not? And even if I think it's a poor creative choice, I don't think it's wrong for Zarkon to include uncut Metal Gear Solid 2 audio in his song, even if, you know, US law says otherwise. However, what is a problem is that my video was automatically claimed for this. And yes, by the way, it was automated. Zarkon did not see my video because he couldn't. The video was set to private. This is how a lot of content ID claims work. They're automated, meaning that either Zarkon or his label set up a system where somehow it could automatically detect copyrighted material material, which normally is saved for things like, you know, his actual music. But because a large amount of his song included uncut MGS2 audio, that means that the automated claims were claiming my video, thinking it's his song. This already pissed me off. I'm getting claimed for a song that isn't in my video. Not only that, but this guy is clearly abusing copyright by automatically claiming audio he doesn't own and taking my ad revenue as a result. However, even more crazy is that I'm not the only one. There are comments that date back to 3 years ago, calling this guy out for claiming money from these people's MGS2 playthroughs. There's even a fellow YouTuber named SourceBrew who was also affected, and talks about it in the very video he's affected by.
Okay, so just pause the video for a second. I've been trying to upload this video all day, and I keep getting copyright claimed by some like random SoundCloud rapper claiming to own this MGS2 AI codec call, despite it being from a video game cutscene from 2001. So sorry, I can't actually play the audio here. So yeah, just go look it up on YouTube, or better yet, play MGS2. It's a great game. And yeah, sorry about that, back to the video.
This, at the time, to me, was very clear copyright abuse. And the only thing I could do was file a dispute, which causes my video for the time being to sit in escrow. Meaning for 1 to 30 days, the money goes pretty much nowhere, unless either the claimant accepts the dispute and lets it go, rejects the dispute and reinstates it, forcing me to potentially have to appeal it and risking a strike on my channel, or the claimant sits on it for 30 days and it just expires. Which, after not uploading for over a month and working on the video for over a month, having to wait even longer to release the video over a bullshit reason for anywhere from 1 to 30 days is very clearly unfair to me. So I, at the time, somewhat immaturely called him out on Twitter for it, in the desperate hopes that someone listens to me. I uploaded the video 3 separate times, all of them got hit with the same claim. I even attempted more effects and audio glitches in the 3rd upload, and that still didn't work. I attempted to message Team YouTube about it, which went about as well as you would expect it to. Now, to be fair, I will cut YouTube a little bit of slack here. After talking to people who, long story short, are way higher than me and have more connections than me, I realize now there's not a lot YouTube can do without being inadvertently responsible for more nefarious things. Like it or not, there's a reason we have a due process. With that being said, though, Zarkon's song is still up, even after my claims were eventually released, and I have no clue if it's still content IDing people. I furthermore attempted to DM Zarkon directly, but sadly that did not work. On Twitter, he only allows verified premium users to message him, and on Instagram, I got quite literally nothing. I was, how you put it, left on scent. Although make no mistake, Zarkon was aware of my existence, as he posted a really weird Instagram story scrolling through his Twitter notifications before landing on my Twitter profile. There was no audio or anything, just him scrolling, completely ignoring the reasons I was calling him out. Although I will apologize for the volume I was doing it at, and furthermore, I do not associate with people sending death threats, and you should unfollow me if you did that. I did, however, eventually get in contact with the 2 people, both of them involved with Zarkon, one of them being a venue owner, who for privacy reasons I will keep anonymous. I tried talking to him, but was eventually ghosted, and that was the kind of it. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure how much control he specifically had. There was one other person, however, someone who responded to a friend of mine calling out Zarkon. Now, I'm not sure how he's involved with Zarkon, but he has his ad in his bio, so. But this person gave a very tone-deaf response defending Zarkon, not really understanding that this affects a bunch of creators, or that Zarkon is claiming audio as his own that isn't actually his own. I attempted to message this person as well, hoping I'd get somewhere, and again, I was left on scent. However, the venue owner mentioned a site called DistroKid. Oh, finally, information. And hey, I'm actually familiar with them, as I myself use DistroKid to publish my music. It's a very indie-friendly way of getting your music on Spotify and other platforms. And hey, check this out. The claim also says it's from a group called Inner Street Recording, which, long story short, it basically means DistroKid. Okay, so it's DistroKid doing all this then, right? However, here's another thing. So So DistroKid does have an automated content ID system for artists. Okay, so we know how Zarkon is claiming videos, except you can turn it on and off for individual songs and albums. So someone, either Zarkon or his label, turned this option on, and that's why the system is detecting any MGS2 audio as this song. So whether it's Zarkon being malicious or just incompetent and stupid, whatever the motive is, we at least have the murder weapon. Zarkon had this option checked on, and that's why this content claim shit is happening. All the while, I had one more contact. Or rather, I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. Basically, I'm friends with someone, and she knows a content creator who is way bigger than me. And this creator ended up having contacts to DistroKid. And after 30 minutes to an hour of a call with him, he ended up calling DistroKid, and they told me to send an email. Sadly, the link he sent me only had 3 options in DistroKid's submit a request area. Pretty much all of them being for pre-existing DistroKid members. But I tried my best and sent an email, but after doing so, I contacted this YouTuber friend, unsure of what exactly I was supposed to do. And so was he, so he gave me the best advice he could. But right before I was able to take it, I looked at my YouTube channel and surprise, the claims were lifted, delaying my video by nearly an entire week. I have no clue if it was the actual email or just DistroKid finally seeing my thing, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
Not happy about that? Get over it.
Well, at least the video's up now. Although, I can't help but feel like I lucked out in the worst way possible. If it weren't for the fact that I had connections, I could have been waiting even longer. Also, Zarkon's song is still up, and I have no clue if it's still copyright claiming people. Which sucks, because MGS2 deserves to be talked about. And believe it or not, YouTubers not being able to make money off their videos is a big turnoff. Also, the more minor thing of this is just straight up illegal, where Zarkon is making money off a video game that is not his, and preventing other people from gaining money off of their transformative work. And look, I'm fine if Zarkon samples MGS2, and hell, I don't care if he doesn't clear it. But why are other people who are virtually doing the same thing getting trampled over in the process? Why did Zarkon and or his team think it was okay to content ID an entire large portion of audio that they don't even own? Even if this was an oversight or an accident, it was a really bad one. I lucked out by being tenacious and having contacts. But imagine people like SourceBrew who might not actually have that at all, and as a result have to sacrifice their content for a frankly bullshit reason. I should mention, by the way, this is purely the fault of Zarkon and his team. I don't trust the it's DistroKid's fault angle, because DistroKid's a content ID checkmark is meant for actual songs and not for larger portions of game audio you don't own. And again, you have to manually checkmark it. Now, again, whether this was an actual nefarious thing or just an accident is beyond my knowledge. But whether accidental or not, this is still copyright abuse that affects other creators. Also, if DistroKid can, I would say maybe get a better support system. Maybe a 4th option that says straight up, my video is being copyright ID'd, but I don't know the legality or logistics of that, so a lot of that and this in general is beyond my knowledge. However, again, YouTube still hasn't taken down this video or anything, and if it's still claiming content ID, then I feel like the copyright abuse still isn't fixed yet. With that being said, as negative towards Zarkon as I am, this is not a hit piece, and thankfully my head is much more clear than it was during the heat of all this. I don't want him to lose his job or career, or even the song to be taken down necessarily. I just want the song to not content ID other creators. And if that means taking the song down, then absolutely take it the fuck down. It's not right to steal from other creators like this at all, even if it's an accident. Imagine if you made an entire album, but you couldn't make money off of it because you used a single snare. A snare sample that the claimant doesn't even own, he just used it himself in his own song. That's not okay, nor is it ever okay. Trampling over the work of other people is a completely deplorable thing to do, and doing it over content you don't own is even worse. Here's hoping Zarkon and his team can make amends by doing the right thing. Anyways, that's all. That's my story. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.